Hello, beautiful beings, beautiful souls. How are you guys doing? Hi. Let me know where you are tuning into. It's dark here. It's 8:30. I was not expecting to be live. I just finished the Quartz Vortex Deep Shadow Work 4-day workshop, the day one. And today the queen has passed away. Hi, Tori. Hello, Agbo. Let me know where you guys are tuning into. I have my tea ready. I got my cards. I got my copal burning. I got my rose incense. We're going to have a ball tonight. I was actually expecting me to see you guys for the first time since I landed here in my lands, in my motherlands of Canada. And then this happened, and I was like, okay. And I was not expecting. Arrived in Greece for holiday. I hope you're having a good time. It's 3:30, girl. You're committed. I am grateful that you're here, and I hope the jet lag isn't too crazy for you. Hello, hello. Welcome. Today I am channeling a deep message for the collective. Huge message for the collective. Trinidad, I love it. And I cannot wait. Tuning from Costa Rica, ready for channeling. Love you, Sid. North Carolina. Sheila doing ayahuasca. Oh, madre, that's amazing. My sister Sid, who's here, she just finished with madre. Yes, the queen has died. New to your channel. Welcome, any new people. Put a rainbow emoji in the comments. I'd love to hear and see if you're new here. For those who are new, who first time being live, I used to do these all the time, and I got this message I need to do more lives. So I'm going to be live today, but you guys get two of me. So you get today, unexpected live, and then tomorrow, which I usually upload Fridays and Mondays. And starting next week, I'll be uploading Wednesdays as well, which that's a little treat. But now you know, I'll be uploading. You'll see me 3 times a week. So much deep medicine. I'm just letting everyone tune in, everyone jump on, because a new to channel, love it. South Africa, North Carolina, everything is working for me. I love that. Watching from Georgia. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for this first live. Amazing. Reporting from outside Atlanta. Amazing, Dominique. So yeah, everyone who's channeling in, just chat in the lives, chat what's going through, what's coming in. I'm going to be channeling a lot, so I'll try to go out of spirit and go into the space. So the first thing I want to just share with you guys, hi, Chica. And yeah, I just channel these messages for you guys every once in a while. The queen has passed away. And it's crazy. This morning, I felt this anger and this rage that came up. And as I land back here in the lands, and I think a lot of you can relate that the Pisces full moon is happening. We're in the shadow of the full moon. It's September 8th, which means that it's 3 days before the day of and 3 days after that affects you. And what that looks like is Pisces is all about not being restricted to create, not being restricted of our gifts. And if there's any big message we had with the queen passing away, is getting out of old structures, getting out of old systems. Crazy, but a crazy dream last night. I know people have been dreaming like crazy with the Pisces full moon. And with this full moon, we are going to see, and this is just the start of a big death. When I don't mean literal death only, but also death. And the fact that the monarchy, the queen, has passed away, this is a representation that the structure, the queen, the essential family, old patterns, old traditional systems are now falling. They are now falling. And this is opening a space for so much to come in. So much to come in. What this looks like for our group is the first thing that a lot of people are talking about is what's going to happen. You know, now we have Charles coming into the space who's next in line. And I think that's really interesting that the woman that has been holding it, and I'm going to go more into this, but the woman who has the oldest monarchy has been holding into this space. And now we have this masculine. And it was really interesting when I landed into Canada, the message I got is that in the collective, we are getting a blend of masculine and feminine coming together. The past 3 years, we've been seeing a lot of people doing feminine work, you know, allowing themselves to be vulnerable, allowing themselves to tap into their emotions, right? And I've heard a lot from the whole collective community that it's like we're not feeling the same from the masculine of the society. So here what's happening is we're getting this merge of masculine and feminine dancing together. They're dancing together, and how that's going to affect you as a person is calling into how are you being more open to trust the masculine again in a new system, in a new structure that is not being restrained. I'm just reading all of the messages. Hello, hello, everyone who's jumping on. I'm just channeling for the queen and the representation of this death. I had a dream of lions released in the zoo. Yes. And that's exactly what I feel. This death is a representation of rebirth, of rewilding, of liberation, of coming back to trusting our people, coming back to trusting the system of ourselves as a people, as beings. And as I said, that something fell, stepping away from following the old system. So I want you to ask yourself just something to tune into as we go into this Pisces full moon is what are some old structures that have been instilled through you from the old societies, the old institutions that we have in this world? I've been receiving a lot of transition, ending of era. Yes, that's essentially what we're having, the ending of an old cycle. This family has been in power for many decades, for many, many years. And what's happening, what I'm seeing, what Spirit is showing me is that eventually we're going to be losing those systems. Those systems are coming down in the next 3 months, 4 months, loves, souls, get prepared. Buckle your seatbelt because we're going to see there's going to be new ways of financing. So, we've been talking a lot the past few years about crypto. We've been talking a lot about different ways of financing. I just noticed here in Canada, there's a new airline that's here that's privately owned, that is liberating and not having so much restriction that we've been holding for over 2.5 years together. And it's been overwhelming. So now what's coming into what's the permission of this is how are you going to create new systems of finances in yourself? How are you going to stop relying on the system? And that breaks down in many, many ways that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to start with food. Food is a big thing. We eat every day. We eat all the time. And one of the biggest messages I got today is that how are we being more connected with our food? What do? We go to a grocery store, we expect there to be carrots and potatoes. But one thing that we've learned from the huge last 2.5 years in this world is that there is a lot of things of lack of supply. Right. And I think humans are being called to notice that how can we rely on ourselves? So one intention I have for myself next year, starting to grow my own medicine, starting to grow my own foods, vegetables and fruits and herbs, and knowing where they come from, because we're starting to see that the foods that we're getting, are they energetically charged? Are they coming from good places? Are these plants being treated properly? There's a lot of things going on in North America where we're actually seeing, a lot of burning of gardens, a lot of burning of produce. Why is that? Why is that? If you look into the space, look into what's happening on the line that they don't want us to know, is that the food, where do we get our food? It starts with the supply of our necessities and our safety, right? And it's almost like our subconscious soul has known that this time is coming. It's, people are saying the shadow started at the beginning of April in 2019. To be honest with you, this is just the beginning of a rebirth. So again, hold on to your seatbelts. So the sign here is, how can I start to rely less on the system for providing me the nurturing that I have in this space, right? Nurturing of this world, nurturing of my body, my temple. Your body is your temple, right? More and more of us as a collective are looking for natural ways of healing our body. And the song that repeats in my head as I speak to you and channel with Spirit is that, the Ancestral song it's an indigenous song. I'm going to try to find it on my phone. And this song is I might not play the whole one because, YouTube and all that stuff. But, and then I'm going to read your comments because they're coming in hot. So give me a second, y'all. give me Give me a second as you guys keep on sharing your space. So there's a song, I want you to listen to it because this is literally the song of what is sharing what I'm feeling and what's repeating in my head right now as I speak to you. And it's called Ancient Ways by Masiki Taki. Okay, Ancient Ways. And I actually know the artist of this song, and he sings about we are calling to the ancient ways, the way that our ancestors used to get food, the way that our ancestors were connected with the lands and connected with the community. How many of us don't know our neighbors? This is forcing us to start to work and start to work for ourselves, to start to create finance for ourselves. How many people this past 2.5 years have started a business? Let me know in the comments. Have you started a business this year? Have you started a new way of income? That is a start of you, your soul choosing to stop relying on the systems. Okay, me, yeah, 100%. Let me read. So, I've received a lot of chance. I read that one. There's Starbucks near me that's going strictly cashless. Yeah. So this brings me to the banks. Okay, that's why I'm talking about financing. We're going to see a lot of banks start to leave the system. You're going to see a lot of banks start to not have the financing. Okay. And this is going to be huge. So again, we're being called. I'm going to pull out a card because the card's coming out as I read the messages. But one of the biggest representation is not only crumbling of the system with the queen, starting with the head, but then it's going to fall into the banks. You're going to see some banks that are going to leave. Maybe they won't have money and they can't supply themselves anymore. And that's going to bring people to what? Half of the collective that's not in the conscious state, which y'all are choosing this path, so it's following you. But half of the collective that is in this space where they're in fear is going to feed off that. And what they're going to feed off is saying, what's going to happen with my money? What's going to happen with this? But the blessing of that is that you're going to be able to control in the sense of create and seed new ways of abundance. So let's pull a card out for abundance. One fell out. Unfinished Symphony. Okay, I'm going to read this card because I really love this one. It's 10. So we have 1, which is new beginnings, 0, which is endings. They're coming together. Let the ending be a new beginning. Let's read what this card has to say. So unfinished business and an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, and need of amends. So you notice how as soon as the queen passed away, what happened? A lot of people started to think about, what is the dollar bill going to be like? The monarchy, changing of passports, all those things. So there's a lot of the human trying to control, again, control the systems. You're going to see a lot of rules shifting. You're going to see a lot of delays. We're also in Mercury retrograde, so delay of communication. I personally feel, in all honesty, the queen died a long time ago, but they didn't announce it to the media till later because they didn't want this fear coming up. So this is a time where where loose ends are near completion of the cycle. So we're ending cycles of old institutions, ending cycles of old institutions in ourselves. What did your family teach you about the system and the country, the city that you live in? How is that heavily engraved into you? And that's why we're in the age of the Aquarius. The age of the Aquarius is all about rules, bending rules, questioning rules, stepping outside of the rules. What is considered a good girl, good boy, good being, right? There's no such thing as that. That goes back to triggering us to our parenting. So this Pisces full moon, along with the death of the queen, is going to trigger, how are you parented? How are you restricted by rules in your household? Okay, that's the dynamic of your siblings. That's the dynamic of your parents. This is going to come up. Your unfinished words, your unfinished communication of what you had to say, the emotions you wanted to express that you didn't feel safe to express. This is an opportunity for you to do that deep work. Before you move forward, it's important for you to come to terms with where you are now. Where are we now? It's okay to know that there's nothing here, but you notice how when the queen passed away, everyone's trying to answer things, everyone's trying to fix things. At the end of the day, we're not in charge. We know nothing. We are just souls experiencing this journey. Practice the radical acceptance. Take inventory of the emotional, psychological closure, and can occur, and answers to seek will be found. And you can't move forward if you're leaving things unfinished. Reflect on the past symphony and ending a cycle. It's interesting because I just finished the Quartz Vortex channeled message, and I'm going to share one little tip with you guys here. I'm going to give it to you here. So, when we were talking about, the stepping into transition and transformation, one thing that came up is how can we stop being a victim of the systems? How can we stop being a victim of our old patterns? How can we choose to not be a victim, but to write a new story? It's almost like I gave this example where for the longest time, I wasn't able to walk in a certain neighborhood years ago. The reason why is because the last time I went into that neighborhood, it was a job and a business that I owned. And in that business, that's when I had a huge trauma that happened. And every time I walked that street, it was a trigger for me. And I kept putting that street in arm's length. And then when I did that, what I was doing was suppressing something that I emotionally wanted to liberate and to let go of and to dissolve. So asking yourself, what unfinished business in yourself, in your structures, in your habits, in your everyday patterns, we're talking every day, thought processes, all of that, how is that going to be opening up? Just reading everyone's messages. Yes, feeling massive changes coming as well, changing in the lifestyle, preparing for what in the last years. I love that. Hi, Gail. I got home late in Court's live. That is okay. You'll see the rerun. Also, I'm officially a farmer. That's amazing. I've been always in the heart of the purpose of coming to forefront. So this is what we're going to start to see in the next year. We're going to see a lot of people starting to live on their own lands, more people living in the countryside, rural areas, more community lands. Huge. I just recorded a video on spiritual businesses that will be out on community lands. Like, what type of space do we want to connect with? What type of community do we want to call in? This is a great time that people are going to be longing for that. So creating new structures of neighborhoods where kids are playing together of different ages, classes aren't restricted based on age, based on race, based on restriction of gender and interests of sensuality, sexuality. Sorry, guys, my nose. I did have day. All these things are going to come through in this space. So, really tuning into that. We're going to also notice there's going to be a really big push of fear around fear and finances to keep the bank systems going. And again, they're hurting right now. Another big thing too is tourism. As we know that more of the majority of the people are finding freedom and working for themselves with that. I don't know about you guys. I love to travel. And we're going to see that increase going in different ways, such as traveling and whatnot, testing our ways of responding to the systems. So again, we're going to start to see even some airlines and some tourist companies start to go under. And that is, again, resetting the world, resetting for new earth, new businesses, unrestricted organizations, in the sense that is going to have more freedom and more support for the people. Okay. Love that. Let me know what's coming in for you guys. I love that everyone's just sharing what's going on with them. There's some ways that you're creating more system in yourself. Have some tea, but it's hot. Okay, another thing I want to share with you guys, and I was like kind of debating on sharing it, but Spirit's like, Shika, you gotta share it, okay? It's also interesting because as we step into this, we're going to see a lot of truth in government. So, prime ministers specifically in the North Hemisphere. So, we're looking at North America. We're going to see a lot of things come up in this space. So, presidents, government, all of that, they're going to come up with more truths, things that they've been hiding, more scandals, if you will, that are going to come up in the next few months. So, keep in mind, how are these secrets coming back into the light, and how can you, again, unfinished symphony, focusing on tuning on the unfinished symphony. Okay, I want to just share this because as soon as I pull this out, this card came out and I feel like it's for everyone. Spirit Fox, trust in your talents and change of times. So I know right now when things are happening, when the queen she's not here, she's dead, she's passed on, she's transitioning. In this space of the queen, what I love about the fox is the spirit of resilience. We see foxes in cities, in rural areas, in suburbs, and they still are so resilient in this space. So what the spirit fox is telling us, that allow ourselves to be adaptable and change. This is a great time to start brainstorming new ways of income, like I said. So again, whether that is, going into not making decisions. I don't want to say make decisions right now because Mercury retrograde is happening. We also have the Pisces full moon, which I'll go into. And if you want to learn more about the Pisces full moon, I have a whole energy update video on that. But as far as changing in new times, how can you adapt and stop attaching yourself? What happens when someone goes into a space of fear? We attach to all the things that we do have in our life. And what that does is it creates chaos and it makes unflowed alignment. And what I like to say, unflowed alignment, we step into the wounded masculine of trying to control things because we can't trust where our spirit, where our soul's bringing us. So the beautiful thing about this time right now is it's forcing us to trust the chaos of the world. It's forcing us to trust and say that we know that things are going to be better. So I'm going to read the fox, which is in here. What number is the fox? I'm curious. Give me a second, loves. You're being patient with me. Fox, 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 fox. Where are you? I see you. I see snake. I don't see spirit fox. What's that? Oh, here. Spirit fox, 74. 74 is 111, is 11, right? So 74 is new beginnings. Again, there's some new energy here. Stay alert, changes in the air. So again, a lot of you are going to be forced to step into purpose. And I'm seeing this a lot with collectively with other readers. I'm going to go in a different direction with sharing this. So right now, with this whole full moon in Pisces coming up, we're in the shadow of the full moon, the death of the queen of an old structure coming down, going into a new space. What's coming up is that stay alert with new air in the world, new ideas. So for me, I'm even thinking of new business ideas coming up, thinking of new ways to help the world, to help on a collective. Ask yourself, what legacy is your soul here to leave? Right? It's not what you do in your life. It's what you do and you leave in this world that people remember. It's not the struggles that you go through. And I say this with love, it's not the struggles you go through. It's not the pain you go through. It's not the things that people don't see. It's what you do in this world, how you shift that world. And, I met this older man and he says every day he starts his day with a smile on his face. And for him, he knows that people know he's always smiling when they see him. And that's what he's leaving in this world is this smile for someone that maybe that person's going through something and they can see that smile. It can be as small as that. Maybe for you, that is changing the way that people have a relationship with food. You start to create a garden out of love, out of creation for yourself. And in doing that, you learn about medicinal practices and you share that with the world. And when you leave from this lifetime, people can now take this knowledge and share it with their kids and their lineage and moving on to shifting the ancestral lineage of the relationship with this world. So huge. Spirit fox features a favorite animal of all time. The red fox is an amazingly resilient creature. You don't even know how strong your soul is. Your soul is so strong. Even in times where everything is taken away from you, know that nothing is taken away from you. You are just stepping into a new reality. So here is knowing that you're able to survive the urban environments and the freezing temperatures. So when you are in good times and in bad and in between, you can survive through it all. The fox knows that it's like hunting. Its centuries has been sorted out to precious fur and wants to survive. So we are now saying that we're coming out of that survival space and we're tuning into letting ourselves be still in the quietness of the air until we get that sense and that message to hunt whatever we want. Remember that fears are just a sign for us to hunt what we like and what we need in our life and what we're yearning for in our soul, right? So the spirit fox can help us overcome energies, adversity, and unfair treatment. Also, an urban fox hides the cities and goes into the business in the dark hours. The fox offers the medicine of blending in. Okay, so this is really interesting. You're going to see a lot of white hats, I like to call them. So now that the systems are shifting, white hats are people that are in the system. So maybe, whether you have, you work as a teacher or the government, whatnot, I believe that there's white hats everywhere. White hats are angels. They're angels in this world that are helping us balance the shadow and the light of this world, which will always be there. We need both to dance. You can't just have one. And I mean that in the most loving way. So the energies around you are changing at this time, although it is not always comfortable. You are equipped with all that you need to survive this shift. So knowing that even though it doesn't make sense to you, sorry, my happy. Even though that it doesn't make sense to you, there are so many opportunities in this change, right? You can only go up from here. So for any of you that are feeling that you're in a stuck place, maybe you have writer's block, maybe you're in a space where you don't know, you want to help the world, you don't know what that looks like. Just know to follow yourself in this time of the darkness, because in the darkness you will find that light, because it's not always fully dark in the dark. And that's why a lot of people are scared of the dark. When you're scared of the dark, that fear is a manifestation of your fear of the unknown, your fear of what's to come, your fear of what you can't prepare for. And you have to ask yourself, where does that prepping energy come from? Where does that fight or flight come from? Right? Just reading your messages, loves. Definitely hopping into this opportunity for positive change. Yes. Yeah, the financing has changed. That has been a pattern with the collective. Financing has changed, but they are changing because it's calling you to go back to your heart of what you're meant to do. A lot of people right now are focusing on what I can do to make more money. Let me tell you right now, that's a trend that's not going to survive. You're not here to make more money. You're here to make a legacy. You're here to step into planning a purpose, leaving your stamp here, leaving something that is going to help this world beyond your lineage, beyond so many more lineages to come. You are present in the opportunities and reach a space of encountered before, and this can make you feel on edge, but you're open to the shifts occurring. So you're more open than you think you are. Even though there's so much chaos, and like I said, there's more chaos to come in the next few months, whether that's finances, banks closing, also media shifting as well, tourism, some of the tourism companies leaving, they're ending in this space. This is going to make opportunities. So know that in times of hardship, there is time to create and get creative, right? You get creative with what you have. The experience of being hunted or threatened is now behind you, and you are invited to come to the den and reveal your glory and talents. So I'm going to just say this right now, because this has been something so deep. We need more new earth leaders is the word that's been coming up. What is new earth leaders? New earth leaders are people who are driven by their heart, people who are driven by purpose, people who are driven by change. Those are leaders. Those are the successful people in this world. Our world is no longer looking for quick ways to make money. And all these people advertising saying, hey, here's this quick way to make money on Amazon. There's this quick, doesn't work. Okay. That will work for a bit. You'll live a moment. That's it. You're not here for that. You're here to go even deeper than that. We're not on the surface level. And I always say that when I work with people with shadow work, we don't go surface. We go deep to the root. We get to what it is. What exactly are you here for? And you might not know what that is right now, and that's okay. Maybe this conversation we're having right now is just to recognize where you need to go, right? So if that's something that you're interested in, if you're interested in learning about your archetype, if you're interested in stepping into healing, I do have a retreat in Costa Rica. You can DM me for more information about that. But all in all, you need to tune into how you're going to help and support this world. Okay? How are you helping and supporting this world? Reporting live from the Crystal Cave. I love it. In Michigan. Love it. Love this. I'm a Scorpio moon in the surface level. I can't do surface level. Oh, I'm Scorpio sun. I feel you, sister. I feel you. I feel you. All of y'all souls. We are shifting paradigm. Exactly. New paradigms of wealth. And this brings me to ancestral wealth, which I'm going to pull out another ancestral card. We are rewriting new ways of ancestral wealth. And we're not just talking money here. We're talking abundance of time. We're talking abundance of happiness. We're talking about abundance of freedom. These are all going to come through in this space. So let me just pull out a card. Ooh. Be brave, be honest. So I'm going to say this collectively, like I said. I mentioned that on a collective level, a lot of the organizations, leaders that are in this world are going to be revealed with many truths of their past, many truths of what they're doing right now. A lot of you are going to see the world differently. You're going to get unplugged by the 3D world a little bit more. You're going to see things, and people might not understand what you're seeing. People might not understand the way that you're noticing that the food that we're given is not fully organic. People might not notice that, the system that we have and the way that schools are set up is to allow you to stay married to the systems. But the way that people be successful and more happy is taking a step out of that box and seeing what can be created, right? It's almost like if you were a little child and your parents never let you go to school. They never let you connect with other people. You only connect with people in this small little town, this small little city, this small neighborhood. And then right now you're getting that permission to go a little bit further and explore. And you meet some new kids and you meet some new people and you meet some new shops and you see some new things and you experience new food. Your body, your being is going to be like, wow, this is so much that I didn't know, right? So allow yourself to tune into that. So the Knight is saying that be strong, be brave and strength and honest. The power of that is when I say strong isn't preventing your emotions to come up. Strong is the opposite. Strong is being vulnerable. A lot of us want to be seen, but we're not allowing ourselves to be seen. Ask yourself, how are you wanting to be seen in this world, but you're not asking for what you want? You're only following other people because you're trying to please the old system. So anyone who's trying to please and be that A+ student is going to be triggered in the next few months, because that's going to tell you, hey, look, you got to be the A+ student for you and your terms, not for other people, not for what the teacher wanted you to do, not for what your boss wanted you to do. What are you doing to make yourself feel good? Do the right thing, even if it isn't an easy option. So again, a lot of you are going to be tested on truth. Maybe the 3D world, 3D relationships are going to be testing you to speak up. And you're going to be that opportunity, that portal for people to see and reflect what they're not seeing themselves. Stand for what you know is right and true, even when it's hard. Okay? Even when it's hard. I'm going to blow my nose for a second. Okay, didn't want to do that on the thing here. So what do you want to be true about? What do you want to be honest about with yourself? Truth. Be in the truth of yourself. Be in the truth of your essence and your being. Because what is in the dark will come into the light. That is why the unknown, it's kind of a duality. What is in the dark will come into the light, right? So the dark is a representation of the unknown, right? And a lot of us want to know everything, want to know what to expect. So the beauty of this is balancing those two spaces, balancing those two worlds. I just missed here, I found the page. The Knight is a knight of a shining armor dedicated to the crown. Is this interesting? So the queen has died, right? And the crown, it's dedicated to the crown, but now you're dedicating to your own crown. You're not dedicating to the crown of pleasing your mom. You're not dedicating to the crown of pleasing that teacher that wanted that A+. You're not dedicating the crown to pleasing the system. You're dedicating the crown to yourself. How does that feel? It's uncomfortable for some of us. For some of us, it feels liberating. It feels exciting. It feels powerful. That's what we want. You want to be seen, then dedicate to your own crown. You want to be held and happy, be with your own crown. Stop pleasing other people's crowns. Here, in the sense, he is the protector, the Holy Grail, and therefore of a spiritual growth and expansion. He represents the warrior in you. There is a warrior in you that is ready to ignite and to change your lineage, to change this world, to leave something here that is beyond this lifetime, that is beyond anything. And this warrior is wanting you to start putting your energy for yourself, not putting your energy to comparing where you need to be from other people. No one cares. The story that you have that you're allowing yourself to be a victim of, no one cares. But what you should care about is within yourself. His sword, his armor shows the courage, the strength. The look closely will see the tear running into his eyes. I don't know if you can see this on my. There's a tear running down his eyes. And this tear is saying that he's strong, he's brave, but he's allowing emotion to be shown. He's seeing, he's allowing his emotion to be here. He's allowing himself to cry if he needs to. He's allowing himself to be angry and to be messy and to be seen to be messy, because the beauty is that messiness in the chaos of creating yourself. People don't want to know how you got to have the millions and everything and how you're happy. People want to relate to you because they want to see you and your journey. They want to connect to your story. Stop connecting to other people's stories and other people's systems. This is not why we're here. So this representation of the Queen's death is like, how attached are you to things outside of yourself? That's a big one. Allow yourself to be brave, to rip that bandage off and start creating a new you. Start connecting to yourself. And that's scary. There's so many layers of our being. But until we do that, we are living someone else's truth. We are living a truth that is not ours. And with that, we will never feel connected with ourselves. We'll never feel this clarity of ourselves that our soul is yearning and trying to guide us through, because we are resisting the rebirth that is wanting to be ignited within our soul and our being, that it knows where it needs to go. But how much is your human getting in the way? How much are you allowing the distractions of the system and telling yourself, well, what if this and what if that person judges me? This is all your inner talk. When the Queen passes away, what do we remember? We remember her history. And that's something that's coming up. A lot of you, your ancestors are getting permission to get clarity today, is getting rest. A lot of your ancestors are getting rest from the colonization. And this came up as a message, and I was not sure to share it, and I did want to share this now. Today is a new path for our lineage and ancestors. And I'm specifically talking to Indigenous, people of color, and people also on the other side of the colonization as well. Now we're allowing our truth to be here, and we're writing a new story. We're seeing this in our society. We're seeing this so deeply. The energy of respect is important right now. You are being encouraged to figure out the important you and what you stand for. Not what your mom wants you to stand for, not what your dad wants you to stand for, not what your partner wants you to stand for, not what your old self wants you to stand for. Whenever I'm channeling, my nose. I had a healing recently, and my nose was just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's just my crown clearing, and channeling these codes. If you are in a space where you're in the opposition and you are being guided to follow an integrity, let's go into integrity a little bit. I'm going to break this down. What is integrity? That word is used a lot. I use it a lot in my videos. Let's go deep into this. So the Queen, when she passes away, anything that was out of integrity is going to be revealed, and any other system connected to her system that was out of integrity, as we're seeing this in the North Hemisphere in this world during the Mercury retrograde, is going to be revealed. What does that mean? Not in truth. Integrity is not in truth. So anything that you are following right now that is not in truth, oh, it is coming up in the surface. It's about to trigger the ish out of all of us. But in doing that, we are going to be brave like the night. We're going to let the tears run. We're going to let the anger run. We're going to let that energy come out fully in our space. But my question to you, are you going to sit in your vulnerability? Are you going to allow yourself to be seen in that messiness? Are you going to allow yourself to be in integrity and state your truth, even if it hurts, even if it's uncomfortable, because you know that that truth is worth more than you hiding behind something just to fit in? Let that sink. How much of ourselves are fitting in this space? Again, we are starting the new earth is already here. And some souls are going to keep going with us. And some souls are going to drop off because they're not ready for it. And they're going to come back when they're ready. That's just the truth. So we're going to see a lot in the next 5 years, a lot of things happening. We're going to see people who rely on the Western medical system, the legal medical system, the banks, all these things. We're going to see people who are still attached to these old paradigms going to go down with it. And we're going to see people who are balancing between the two stay around, and they're going to make their way. And we're going to see people who are making new things and leaving their legacy and starting new, and people not understanding what they're doing, but they're starting something. And that's what matters, as long as you're brave to start into that new truth of integrity. Because even if it seems that it will be slow progress to start all over, to start your career all over, to start your finances all over, to start your relationship all over with yourself or with someone else, you just know that you're still in integrity, and you know that you're going to be happier in the long way. Abandonment and quivering. Yeah, it's going to quiver. Some of you are going to be triggered with the abandonment. What do I do if I don't have the system? What if I don't? What if I do if people aren't telling me what to do? How to turn right, left, up, down, jump, turn around? We've been these Muppets. The strings are cutting off, y'all. It's cutting off. Are you choosing to dance and walk, learn how to walk without the strings? Or are you going to allow yourself to retach those strings and struggle a bit and keep trying to stay on the system that's going to be burning those strings and eventually burning with that? Right? So even if it seems in this progress of reward, you will be abundant at the end. And there is going to be abundance throughout the journey, because you're going to know that you're in your truth. You are being surrounded by light and bravery and protection in this time. So again, remembering that no matter what is happening through this system, that we're always protected. The card also brings justice. So again, this connects us with the time of the Aquarius, which we're coming to an end of in a bit. But then also it's matching with Pisces, which is all about imagination, not being restricted to imaginate, allowing your inner child to come into that space. I have a beautiful energy healing meditation that I posted on that. So if you want to go deep into the full moon in Pisces, I suggest you going there and also checking the energy update. This is also a space here if you are longing for justice, because know the universal energies are working to bring everything back in order. We've been in a messed up system, okay? I'm going to be completely honest with you guys here. Throughout the past 2.5 years, we have seen history repeat itself with the indigenous trying to hide the history of it. What happened? Integrity came in and spirit was like, we're showing it up. We saw justice being unfair with the system. It wasn't working. It's still not working. Now the new earth is coming in and it's shifting things. It's going to be a little messy. But at the end of it, we're going to be so grateful. We've seen people's rights been taken away for over 2.5 years. How does it feel to be forced to choose between your health, your job, your finances, your home, your family, and you? And your well-being? It's a choice that they've put us in the space of fear. That's how it works. But now the collective is letting go of the fear, and they're saying, wait a minute, what? I allowed myself to see this whole act, this whole show. So we need to understand through this spiritual journey how to connect with the 5D and the other dimensions in the 3D world. Because at the end of the day, we are human. We have to enjoy life. We can't take life seriously. So with that, it was going to help us step into this night archetype, which is being brave, being honest, being human. Give ourselves a break, give ourselves a breather. And if you have made mistakes recently, it's important for your ownership of them. How much are you owning your mistakes? How much are you owning what's coming up for you here of relying on the people? It's one thing to know your story. It's another thing to take ownership. You know what I mean? When we know our story, we've known our past, we know what we've gone through, that's one thing. But to take ownership, how are you taking full responsibility? With responsibility comes power. Something my dad always used to say, with great power comes responsibility. I used to hate when he said that. And with that, I grew up with that mantra. And with that mantra, I said that I didn't want the responsibility because I didn't want the power. If I have the power, then that's a lot of work and then that's a lot of pressure on myself. Every single one of us is energetically responsible. And in that energetic responsibility, that it requires truth and integrity. So again, everything that's not in truth in our systems, in our everyday life, in the way of, oh, like I'm doing this job because I want to make money, but deep inside your soul and your subconscious is like, I don't like this job, I'm not happy. It's just going to come, the universe is going to realign things. Again, like I said, we're going with the new earth. There's going to be a divide of the earth. New earth, the people who are still stuck to the system, the in between that don't have a choice. And we're going to see a lot of people leave the next 5 years. And a lot of people coming back to the ancient ways of medicine, which is one of the reasons why I've been hearing more and more for me to stress my medicine path. I'm a Campbell practitioner. That's something that I'm very, very tuned into, and medicine work and working with medicines, helping people heal with medicines. And it's because we've learned that the system has created something and made us think something, but what it does is it just suppresses. It just covers up the band-aid. It's just like it's putting the band-aid, it's like not cleaning up a scar and putting on a whole bunch of like oils and stuff on top, closing it and not letting the scar breathe. Instead of opening the scar, letting it do what it needs to do naturally and letting it heal on its own terms instead of forcing it to heal when it's not naturally meant to heal that way. So again, that's a huge part, taking ownership and not just putting a band-aid on things and pleasing other people and pleasing the judgment and the critique in our minds. If you are feeling this need to defend your spiritual path at this time, back down and let it protect you. Oh, that's such good medicine. If you are feeling doubt in yourself, faith in yourself, you're in a space. I get it. Like some of you are in that space. That's okay. I had a question today from one of my clients saying, Shika, should I manifest if I'm in a negative space and I have anger? We got to manage both. We got to manifest, but we also do the healing. We got to manifest in the chaos, remind ourselves why we're here, what's the legacy that we're keeping in this world. But then we also have to allow ourselves, give permission to let those emotions move and call in for support, not only when you're in desperation. Call in support when you're in a good space as well. We forget that sometimes. Our guides are always constantly with us. And as I say that, let's do the the light cards that I have. Let's see what comes up. Let me know what's hitting for you guys, because this is like a really deep transmission. I was not expecting to be here for almost an hour, but we're here. Whew, protection. Okay, let's go into this. Call back your power, cut the cords. So right now, anything that is holding your power, we're talking relationships, exes, cycles are ending during the next 3 months. And when things fall, that tower moment, it's going to allow you to force you to protect your energy. So what I'm trying to say is the next few months, some of you are being called to protect your energy, because as you step into your light, people who are jealous of you are going to come through. They're going to test you. These are testers. You know, when you start to choose decisions on the opposite direction that other people are going, people are going, what are you doing? Come over here. What are you doing? Come on this path. Da-da-da. That is all distraction. So my question to you is, how much can you bring faith to the unseen world and co-create with the universe while protecting your energy and understanding that you have a responsibility to retrieve your soul's purpose? Okay, so this is all planning. Mercury retrograde is about planning for the big bang. It's planning for the big moment. Okay, we're almost there. We're getting through it. I know this year has been a lot, but step into your power. Remember, a lot of people want power, but they don't retrieve it. It's like ordering something from online and then waiting for it to come, and it stays at your porch forever and you never pick it up. You see it, you check your mail, you walk through the door, you never pick it up. Your power has always been with you. The only thing that's making you feel powerless is you claiming that you are powerless when your power has been already ignited in you. So again, cut the cords, clear your energy this time. Get rid of the clothes, get rid of the stuff that you don't need, get rid of the pictures of your old self that you don't need to see and be a victim to. Get rid of the stuff that your body is telling you to, and you're trying to make sense of it because you're like, what happens if I get rid of this relationship? I'm going to be alone and be abandoned. You're never alone. We're never alone. Do you know that soulmates are constantly working with us in the ethers in the spirit world? A lot of people don't know that. So in this space, right, we're constantly working. So people who've passed away, transition, they're constantly still working with you. Your parents, your grandparents, they're always working with you. So the only thing that's making you feel alone is you saying that you're alone. You know, it's okay to feel lonely and you're human to have that experience. But again, you're connected to your soulmate. If you didn't meet your twin flame yet or your soulmate, they're still helping you in the ethers. But stop putting pressure on a timeline. Okay, that just came through. I don't know why. Maybe some of you need to hear that. Stop putting pressure on a timeline. There's no time. Time is connected. It's all in one, right? There's a reason why as we get older, time goes by so quickly is because we stop worrying about all the crazy stuff our younger self used to think about, right? You ever see an old man or old woman at the store? They just don't care. They say whatever is on their mind. And I just smile and laugh because I'm like, that is integrity. That is truth. But we spend all our life attaching to everything. And it's not till we get old and we have nothing else to live on. We just kind of like let it all go, right? So again, here is really asking you, cut the cords. This is a time of clearing cords. We're seeing this already, clearing cords from the system, clearing cords of pleasing people, people pleasing. That is so strong. Clearing cords of ways of financing. This is a time to reprogram your abundance. You're always abundant. Don't always look at money. I'm on a laptop. We're talking right now. This information is abundant to help and ignite something in your soul. Be grateful for your phone or your laptop that you're on right now. That's abundance, right? What you ate today, abundance. What you drank today, abundance. Your bed, your abundance. Stop focusing on the system telling you that you're only abundant if you have money, because abundance comes in different ways. What does the money do? It gives you things. It gives you opportunity, yes. But at the end of the day, when you got nothing, that's when you feel the most abundant because there's no attachment, right? So the where you are right now is going to help you open up if you detach from that reality and say that I've always been abundant. And then all of a sudden things start flowing through, right? Tune into that. I think that's so key. Okay, I'm going to wrap up the the video, but I want to do an affirmation. Please let me know what's coming up for you guys if this makes sense. Again, the queen passing away is a huge monumental thing. This is an opportunity for us to cut the cords of systems. And I mean systems ancestrally. I mean systems of within ourselves that we've been restraining ourselves. We got to cut them. And as hard as it is, and you don't know what's coming up, trust me, there will be a solution at the end. You got grief. Perfect for today. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. I understand that losing this space of being scared of the dark, this space of being scared of the great mystery and the unknown. I understand that losing that I'm no longer living my life to please other people is giving me space to get to know myself, to say what I want, what are my pleasures, what do I love. I understand that there's a beauty in grief because grief can ignite something that is a remembering of myself, remembering of why I decide to drop here into this earth body. This is why we have grief. This is why grief is here. A lot of our culture and our system, again, systems, that's the theme today, teaches us to restrain from grief, anger, and emotions. But what they don't teach us is when we can honor and feel that grief, it makes us so powerful because when we tap into that, we understand, we remember why we're here. I said something to someone the other day this week, death is always at our door. And if the queen has reminded us of one thing is that today or tomorrow, there's always going to be something that death is around us. It doesn't have to be someone dies or you die or whatever, but in this death of this system, there is an old system in ourselves that is being mirrored for us to then get rid of, to cut, to let go. And until you do so, The patterns will continue. Again, a soul has a right to say no or yes to things, right? We don't have to listen to these healings and these soul contracts and this full moon and following only. We don't have to do that. We really don't. It's not just an option. You don't have to do what I'm sharing. But what I will share is that, when we have this opportunity, when we look at it as an opportunity to see life differently, to see moments differently, to see relationships differently, we notice that there is more abundance in that grief and more seeds to be made. When we look at something that dies in the forest, what happens? Mushrooms start to grow, moss starts to grow. It's never dead, it just creates new form. So I want you to ask yourself, what is the new form in your life that you are creating right now that you want to seed? Because let me tell you, we're going to have a split of the world. Some of us are going to continue, some of us are not. 5 years, I'm telling you, 5 years. We're going to see a big different world sooner than that, but we're going to really see the difference side by side in 5 years. So who's shifting? Who's not? You decide. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this reading. This was fun. I'm really happy I got to hang out with you guys and get to chat. It's my first time transmuting here in Canada after being 3 months away from home in Peru and Greece and doing some deep work, medicine work. And I'm feeling the depth of how much I'm going to be sharing with you guys. It's going to be crazy. Please let me know what's coming up for you. Please let me know express your feelings. What things are igniting in you as we're sharing this reading, as this live about the Queen passing away and the new systems that are opening up for us. And get conversations starting in the chat, in the comments, because I want you guys to help each other out. This is a community. I do videos weekly for you lovely souls, full moon, energy healing, all of that. If you feel connected and you want to do more work with me, I do have one-on-one mentoring for people who want to learn how to be a healer, hold space, and also those who want to go deep into rebirthing and their life, changing this new system. How do I start? How do I start with my new life and change my reality right now? I also have some retreats, which are exciting. I have one retreat that's happening in Quebec. These are medicine retreats. I'll be serving Cambos and Mangarepe, shamanic healing, as well as there will be breath work in some of those. And we have one in Quebec happening on September 23rd to the 25th. We have one in Costa Rica. It's the Awaken healer. So you get to learn what type of archetype and healer you are. And this is October 23rd to the 31st. So a week long in beautiful Puerto Viejo in beautiful Costa Rica. And then lastly is going to be a retreat in the motherland, in the land of my ancestors in St. Lucia, the Caribbean, from December 3rd to the 11th. And this is an ancestral healing. So we're clearing karmic healing. We're clearing ancestral patterns out of our being, out of our lineage. And again, this includes all the things: healing, constellation therapy. We also go through shamanic work, breath work, Cambo, all of that. So if you are interested in attending one of these retreats, please message me on Instagram or email me. And I also have my courses on shadow work and healing. There's an abundance of courses that you can check out. I love you all so much. Thank you so much. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share with your friends. And I will see you guys tomorrow live. Again, I'm going to be live at 12 o'clock talking about the beautiful Libra new moon that's coming up and what to expect. So same vibes. That'll be awesome. I love you. Love you, Maddie. I love you all so much. I'll see you soon. Remember, stay out of that system, follow your own system, and I love you.